Let's talk about how to do a proper squat. I'm going to show you how to do it right. I'm going to show you the common mistakes. I'm going to show you how to make it easier and then how to make it harder. So here's a good squat. Your feet are about hip width apart, maybe a little bit more. Depending on your hips, you might feel more comfortable with your toes slightly turned out or straight forward. You're going to have to experiment with that. And then you just go down like you're sitting into a chair. You want your bottom back and then come straight back up. So down, straight back up. I'm going to show you from the side too, and then we'll go over common mistakes. All right, the first mistake is not grounding through your feet, not having equal weight distribution both between the front and the back of your foot, and then side to side between feet. Before you even start the squat, I want you to be grounded in through your feet. Equal weight distribution. The second mistake is not hinging from your hips and thinking that your back has to be perfectly straight. It doesn't. It shouldn't. Because watch what happens if my back is perfectly straight the whole time. What has to happen is my knees go in front of my toes. That really puts a lot of pressure on your knee joint and it increases your risk for knee injury. So what's better is a slight hip hinge so that your knees can stay kind of right in line with your toes or slightly behind your toes. The best way that I've come to cue this is pretend like you're going to go to the bathroom, but you don't actually want to sit on the toilet. So how would you be hovering over the toilet if you don't want to touch it because it's really dirty? So that's the best cue that I can come up with for you. Now, another error that we see is a rounded spine. So we want a slight hip hinge, knees kind of in line or behind the toes slightly. Do not round your low back. You probably have heard lift with your legs, not your back. This is what that means. Lifting with your back looks like this. I'm bending over and picking something up. Lifting with your legs looks like this. I'm squatting down, picking something up. So as you squat down, you might be tempted to round your shoulders or round your low back. We don't want to do that. We want that spine to be slightly hinged at the hips, but also straight. So just like that. Okay. The other thing to watch out for is too much weight in your heels. So again, equal weight distribution between your toes and your heels so that you're not rocking back too far on your heels when you're doing that. Okay. Let's talk about ways to make it easier. I have a chair right here. If you're not familiar with the squat, I usually recommend put a chair against the wall and then just do sit to stands. So you can start with a higher chair and both hands on your knees and just stand up and sit down like that. Again, you want to practice equal weight distribution side to side between the front and the back of the foot. You also want to practice that hip hinge and practice not rounding through your spine. To make it easier, you just transition to one hand and then eventually no hands. Okay. You can also make it easier by reducing the range of motion. So I'll show you from the side. It's just like a mini squat. I like to do this in front of a kitchen sink for support, or that's how I would recommend a client or a patient do it if they're not comfortable with squatting. But for demonstration purposes, I'll use this chair. Instead of doing a full squat down, you can just do a little mini squat like that. Like a half squat. Alternatively, to make things harder, you can do a deeper squat. So if I move that out of the way, I was stopping about right here. You can go all the way down here, and you'll see a lot of people on the internet do that kind of squat. So it looks like this. All the way down, all the way up. That takes a significant amount of hip mobility and core stability so that you don't round forward through the spine there. So that's one way to make it harder, and it does. Another modification for squats is squat jumps. This is great for a high-intensity interval training workout. Again, it's not a beginner's movement. You just do the squat movement, but you go all the way down, and then you can jump up with a reach or not reach. It's up to you. I like to reach, like the volleyball days. So here's the side view. So the other ways to make it harder to add resistance. Let's start with the bands. I have a short band. This one doesn't add a ton of resistance, but it adds some. You can spread your feet apart, and that starts the tension in your outer hips. And you just go down and up, like that. Okay, here's the side view. The other thing to look out for is to be sure that your feet are in line with each other. You'd be surprised how often it is that I see someone with one foot behind the other, and that indicates that the foot in the back is the stronger side. Your body wants to rely on it more. You can also use a long band, and how you do this is you wrap it around the back of your head, and then you step on it. And then you can go down and up. And this provides a little bit more resistance on the way up. You want to choose a band that matches the intensity that you're going for. So if you want to reach muscle fatigue after 12 reps, you might need to increase the resistance of your bands or double up on the bands. Otherwise, you're probably just working at a light intensity and not getting all the results that you could. Here's sideways. Down, up. Okay, there's some band modifications. Dumbbell modifications, there's two primary ones. The first is a goblet squat. So this is where you pick one weight and you hold it right in the center of your chest. You can go down and up. Now, because I'm here, I'm going to show you a squat modification that's fun, called the sumo squat. And that's where you take your feet a little bit wider. You turn your toes out, which reminds me of another error we're going to talk about. And you go down and up. So right now, my knees are still tracking in line with my toes, even though they're turned out. What I see sometimes is toes and knees not tracking together. So some people might have their knees tracking in, like this. See the difference? So this is correct. Knees are in line with the toes. This is incorrect. Knees going in with the toes. That puts too much strain on the middle part of your knee, okay? So another dumbbell modification is two. Like this. You can hold them at your shoulders here. Or you can hold them down here. You want to keep the weights close to your body. That way you're not tempted to round your spine. So I'll show you each of those. Or up here. And lastly, let's go to the bar. So I have this nice home gym. It's a Marcy. I can do squats on the Smith machine, which means that it's just a little bit easier to rack and unrack. But I'm going to show you on this like a traditional squat bar. I really like to have a neck pad, just so it's more comfortable. I don't have any extra weight on here. And you unmount the bar. I want to be sure my feet are properly aligned. I tend to lean one way or the other with my shoulders, so I do practice mindfulness about that. And I'm going to go down and up. I'm keeping my core engaged. I'm being sure that my booty's going back. My knees aren't going in front of my toes. I'll show you the side view. I'm thinking about my low back and my upper back, being sure that they're straight, not rounded. just like that. And you can do mini squats with all of these apparatuses too. You can do mini squats with the bar, like this, with the bands, with the dumbbells. If your knees aren't comfortable bending as deep as I am, that's okay. All right, that's the squats for you. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know.